Welcome to another edition of Suffolk Matters, where Suffolk County meets the men and women of Suffolk AME. News and views you can't hear anywhere else. And before we meet this week's guest, here's a quick reminder. AME's May Day Music Festival is coming up on May 11th. Join us for live national and local bands, vendors, food and beer, fun for all ages. Get tickets at maydaymusicfestival.com. Kids under 12 are free. Okay, this morning our guests are Tracy Smith, Port Jeff School of Rock, joined by Matt Marek, who's the house band director, and Juliana Gape, the rookies director. So, and Matt and Juliana are both former students or current students?
Correct.
Yeah. Former students. Okay, awesome. So, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Yes. And so, Tracy, we're very happy to have School of Rock involved in our upcoming May Day Music Festival.
We're super excited to be involved.
I think this is going to be good. It's May 11th, South Haven Park. It's an opportunity for us to open the doors to the union world for everyone to see. You know, we keep saying that we've, in our experience, people get to hear about the labor movement in a negative sense because, newspapers report on conflict. And there's so much that goes on that's very family-based. It's community inside a community, so to speak. And we wanted the world to see that. And we're very happy to involve you guys and what you're going to do at the festival as well. So
and also my husband is in Local 638.
Nice. Very good.
So he's a longtime member.
Union member, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we're very pleased to be joining the Long Island Federation of Labor, AFL-CIO, because them and their affiliates, like the local you mentioned, they're all going to be a part of this as well.
Awesome.
I think this is going to be good. But you guys, the Port Jeff School of Rock is very generously donating 3 live sets of family-friendly music and the equipment that goes with it. And that's going to be in our family area. So there'll be a little spot at the festival itself, maybe a little more kid-friendly, popcorn and cotton candy, face painting. And I think, this is really awesome, for kids to have some live music of their own to hear. So can you tell me just a little bit about, what it is your school does and how you guys will be involved about that?
Okay, so we are going to start performing around 1 o'clock. Every hour on the hour, we'll have a different group performing. We have several different house bands that we currently have playing. They're basically the top 10% of all of the students in our current program. And then we also added a new group to the mix. They're called the Pips.
Okay.
And they're all between age 7 and 10. So we have a nice mix of all the different groups that we have in the school. They'll be performing throughout the day on the family stage. Awesome.
That sounds very cool. So tell us a little bit about the Port Jeff School of Rock. Like, what is it?
So we are a performance-based music school. We really specialize in rock music. We are a franchise. So School of Rock is a world leader in performance-based music education.
Sure.
And we're in 11 countries. There's about 250 locations worldwide, and we are representing the Port Jefferson location. There happen to be 5 on Long Island.
Right.
So there's also Farmingdale, Rockville Center, Huntington, and Roslyn in addition to us. But we'll just be the ones on the stage on May 11th.
Awesome. Sure. So so where are your students? Where are your students coming from?
So we mostly pull from the local area to Port Jefferson, but we do have some students coming to us all the way from the Hamptons, and as far west as Islip.
Wow.
Coming to our location.
Age range?
We start at age 5, and we have an adult program as well. And students within our school, they come in generally twice a week. They do a private lesson We teach guitar, bass, vocals, drums, and keyboards and horns now.
Wow.
And then they also come in for a rehearsal. So it's typically a 3-hour rehearsal. They come in and we cover all types of music. We've done everything from jazz to anything you can think of in rock and roll, every type of genre within that umbrella.
Well, now that you got horns, you can do some ska music, right?
Oh, yeah, we've done that in the past. So
Nice. Nice. And any original pieces, or it's mostly covers and handling the educational component, or?
yes, and then within the private lesson, students are able to branch off into anything that they would like to do. So we have a lot of students that come in with their own poetry that they've written, and they do write songs with their teacher. And we do have recording equipment and a recording studio, so they are able to then translate that into
Walk away with a recording of what they
Mm-hmm.
worked on. That's very cool. Matt, you were involved in this program?
Yeah, I joined back in 2009, I believe.
Okay.
It was probably, I don't even know how old I was, probably 12. Yeah, and I've been in it ever since. I graduated in 2015,
Right.
and been working there ever since.
So how was the experience for you?
I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better experience. From when I joined, like all of my friends were in sports. I was never really athletic,
Right.
so I always liked listening to music. When I joined, that kind of found my place to be. I made some of my best friends through the program, formed a few bands, got some great experience just playing on stage with all the other students there, and the teachers really brought me where I am. So
Nice. What instruments did you really gravitate
I'm
towards?
a guitarist.
Okay.
I play a little bit of bass, a little bit of drums. Starting to self-teach myself keys, but
Nice.
guitar is definitely my main instrument.
Guitar usually helps translate the keys a little bit. I mean, there's
Yeah.
there's a transition.
Yeah.
But, you get the finger dexterity from the guitar, and it sometimes helps
Yeah.
translate over. And Juliana, yourself.
Yeah, I joined when I was 12 as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I was taking vocal lessons there for 6 years. I was in the performance program for 6 years. I think I did over 18 shows or something I was
Wow.
involved in.
Right.
I was a part of the house band, and I also got the experience of touring with the School of Rock All-Stars, which
Very
is the
cool.
top 1% of all locations. I was
Awesome.
able to go on 2 national tours.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so music, I think, really is very important to learn. It's almost like learning a new language in a way, and it is a form of communication that's different than spoken language and written language. I've definitely seen firsthand musicians talking to each other but not talking to each other. What they were playing. And there would be unique reactions on stage, and I've experienced it myself. I do a little bit of music stuff as well.
What do you play?
And I started with guitar. I was probably 12 or 13, showing my age a little bit, but it was very much the heavy metal scene, and I was into the heavy metal scene. So it was very fast, complicated, and the compositions. You wouldn't think about it this way, but the compositions were fairly similar to jazz. You don't pay attention to the mode you're in. Everything kind of switches around, tempo switches around, time signature switch around. It's a lot of fun. I learned a lot, and I think this is a great program for kids in general. Just something to be involved in. And I find too often that schools don't put enough emphasis on the performance aspect. They teach some music theory enough for you to get your pat on the head at the end of the year, and here's a piece of paper that has a letter or a number next to it to let you know how good you were. But there really is something to saying, okay, you're live. You're going out in front of a bunch of people, and you're going to show them not only can you do this, but you can do this well. So a little bit of confidence building also. So I think this is a great program.
Yeah, we also like to highlight the team building skills
Sure.
that they get as well. A lot of the students that come to us are not sports oriented, So being a part of our program gives them not only the opportunity to build confidence, but also those team building skills that are so important.
It's very important, sure. And that, I mean, that translates throughout life. So,
I also wanted to mention our staff that we have.
sure.
We actually have Kyle Fitzpatrick. He's in Funkin' A.
Okay.
He's one of our staff members, and he will be playing on the main stage.
Awesome.
But
We're not sure when, but he will be playing that day, and that's going to be great.
But that segue into our staff. They all have music degrees on their instruments. Many of them also have master's degrees, and I have a couple of New York State certified teachers on staff as well.
Awesome.
So we do, full NISMA prep, and
Right.
pretty much we could
Oof,
get the
I
kids
remember
ready
those
for
days.
anything that they want to do.
Sight reading. Always fun. Always fun. Yes. That's, I think, a great program. And how many students do you think you've had throughout the years, or in any given year?
Oh goodness! Well, right now we have about 300 students at our location.
Wow.
There's about 30,000 students worldwide in the School of Rock network. And I am not really sure how many we've graduated throughout
Right.
the years, but we've had a lot of students who've gone through our program. We've had 2 go on to be students of Juilliard.
Nice.
And then we've had many others who have gone on to pursue music as a career.
Right.
Juliana and Matt are currently in school pursuing music. So
Nice. Very cool. And so how long does the curriculum last? If someone were to enroll, obviously you can take it all the way up, but I mean, is there a breakdown? You come in for a year and you reach this level, or if you stay in for 4, you reach that level,
So it really is just an individual program. We really cater it to each individual student.
Okay.
We have 3 different seasons per year, so we kind of follow the the school calendar in a way. So we do our shows in the months of May. We also do shows in August, and then we also do our shows in January. So, it just really depends on the student and what they're looking to get out of our program.
Right.
Sometimes kids are very focused. Maybe they want to audition for The Voice, so they come
Right.
in and they do something very targeted, and they say, I just want to do this for 2 or 3 months just to get ready for The Voice.
Yes.
And so we do that. Or some students are with us for many years. They, and then they get a job. And they continue going forward that way.
Right.
But we don't have a set goal. It's really targeted towards each
Sure.
individual student to get them to where they're trying to,
Yeah.
the goal that they're trying to reach.
Again, like I said earlier, I think there's value to being involved in music. You talk about the team building aspect, but just the connection that you get performing with other musicians. I think there's some value to that, and there is a lot in the entertainment world to do other than just be the latest band. Session musicians do pretty well and last a long time. You referenced Juilliard. That's someone that's going to go on and do things with music as their career, but there are tons of people, I guess myself included, where their primary source of income is going to be something else, but they have a deep love of music, seeing it, playing it, and I think that's great to get, to especially, the younger the better, almost in a way. Because you will develop skills that you're not going to get anywhere else, and you'll have them for the rest of your life. So it's a way to give your child an advantage they're probably not going to get through the public school system.
Well, we found that our students also have gone back into their public school systems and then really thrived with the programs that they do offer there as well.
Sure.
So we do work hand in hand with the school districts.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair point. Anytime, I guess you could say the same for the the students that go to, some sort of athletic camp, and then when they come back the next
Yeah.
season,
Right.
they're running a little faster, or they've got, some new move on the field, so it definitely well supplements the education on music. So, getting back to the festival a little bit, you guys fans of any of the other acts that we've announced?
Well, of course, we're excited about Kyle and performing with Funkin' A,
Sure.
being one of our teachers, and one of our previous teachers was Cassandra House. So it's always a great day when we get to see her performing on stage. And we're also super pumped about the Gin Blossoms.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
going to be interesting. I think overall, between the local acts and the national acts, I think there's going to be a little something for everybody. And we've got the food trucks, we've got local craft beer. Again, the family friendly area where you guys will have some performances going on. That'll have cotton candy and popcorn and face painting and so it's, I think, a really great opportunity. It's, again, I just really appreciate you guys stepping in and helping us out with this, because for the younger attendees at this festival to have something that's a little more catered to them, I think that's going to be a memory that they'll carry with them. Okay, so back to the music festival, and you guys performing live there. What kind of music can kids expect in that area?
Yeah, so my group, the Junior House Band, they'll be playing stuff ranging from Guns N' Roses. We're doing the Beatles, Phil Collins, even Kool and the Gang. So it's just a big mix. I'm doing some funk, some classic rock, got System of a Down in there. So
That'll be interesting, yeah.
trying to keep it as broad and well known as possible, so that there's something for everybody to hear that they like.
Sure. And there's another band that's going to switch in also. Do you have any idea what they're bringing?
Yeah, so then there's our Senior House Band. They're playing. I know they're doing some Steely Dan. They'd like to keep it classic also, doing some Grace Potter and the Nocturnals.
Interesting.
And then the Pips, that's the young group. They're
Right.
doing some Michael Jackson, some Journey, trying to keep it as broad of music choices so that everybody has something they like to hear at the show.
Very cool. Very cool. So let's talk a little bit more, I guess, in depth about the programs that you offer at the School of Rock, and I guess maybe starting with the Rookies program.
Yeah. So our rookies program is our 5 to 7-year-olds.
Right.
We have 5 classes throughout the week, and I run all of them. It's really a great way of introducing them to all of the instruments, because every kid comes in, they see the drums, and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to play the
Yes.
drums. And then they have no idea what the bass is. And then
Right.
sometimes they'll end up playing, the bass or the guitar or the keyboard. So it's kind of a good way of introducing them to everything. That way, when they turn 7, they're able to start taking private lessons there.
Right.
They know what they want to go towards.
Sure.
Yeah, so I kind of run it like it's like a band setting. They
Right.
rotate to all the instruments. We learn little sections of songs. I simplify everything for them. So,
Sure.
like, the bass has 1 string on it.
Uh-huh.
I label everything on the sides so that they know what they're doing. And then we put on cute little performances for their parents.
Very cool. That sounds like a good, definitely a good start for this
Yeah.
whole, this whole process. And then you guys have something called Rock 101.
Yeah, Rock 101 is kind of the next step up. Once they figure out which instrument they like the most, they get to move on up, play a little bit more difficult music. They get to play guitars that have 6 strings and basses that have 4 strings. They get to play a full drum set instead of just focusing on one of the drums.
Right.
And they include in that, once they move from rookies to Rock 101, they also get a private lesson along with their group rehearsals. So that's when they start to really focus in on their individual instrument and move forward with their music education.
Cool. And then, we talked a little bit about the School of Rock House Band, but what is that? Who comprises that, and what do you do?
Yeah, so that is, like Trace said, about the top 10% of our students at the school. We hold auditions each year, so once kids feel like they're ready to try out, their teachers could recommend them for an audition, and they have to know. They really have to know their stuff. They have to be dedicated to the school, learn their music on time. They need to know their music theory. They have to also just be good influences around the school, be supportive to all the kids learning. Because when I was a student, I remember looking up to house band members and the All-Stars, and they were kind of my inspiration to work harder
Right.
and be on that team as I was progressing. So their to me, their job is to just be an all-around good influence around the school and also promote by playing more difficult music in more public spaces rather than just to parents or their peers.
Sure. Juliana, anything to add?
A lot of our house band members also help out with the younger kids too. So with my rookies classes, I have 5 different house band members that come in every week just to kind of help me out. Sometimes
Right.
it gets a little crazy when I get like more than 5 kids in there.
Yes.
Yeah, so they come in every week. We have one that helps out with Rock 101 every week, and then also our performance program. We tend to keep a lot of our younger kids in the same show, so we have a few that'll come in every week and kind of help direct the shows as well.
Very cool.
And then we give them community service hours,
Yeah.
which helps them with their
Yeah.
college applications
Yeah.
and additional things like that.
And then lastly, the All-Stars tour. What is that about?
So we, throughout the years, we typically have about 5 of our students who participate in the All-Stars Tour. It's about the top 1% of all of the students worldwide. So out of 30,000 students, they choose about 150 that then go out on 5 different tours.
Right.
They tour the United States. They do Lollapalooza. They play at Mopop Festival in Detroit, which I
Red
think
Rocks.
Red
Yeah.
Rocks.
Right.
I've actually been on 6 tours, twice as a chaperone, and
Right.
then with my children that they were participants of the All Stars. And it's just an incredible experience because the kids are just so focused, and it really gives them an opportunity to hone their skills while playing with other students from around the world that
Yeah.
have made it to that pinnacle of School of Rock.
Awesome. Juliana, how was the experience?
It was amazing. I got to connect with so many other musicians. You really learn a lot from them because I mean, either come from all over. They're all into like different kinds of music. So
Right.
yeah, they have a lot. You have a lot to learn from them.
Very cool. And then, I mean, you end up with connections too. You know,
Oh,
if
yeah.
somebody ends up going on, and you hit it off and they go on and they get some sort of, I don't know, some sort of a job in the industry and they say, listen, you know anyone who can do vocals? And, they throw your name into the mix and vice versa. So,
Yeah. And then I
you
get
know,
messages all the time from them like, oh, I'm in New York. Anybody who lives here want to come and see my show? So it's like, they all
Nice.
support each other too.
Cool.
Right, and then School of Rock also has a few national, what's the word? They work with a couple of, like they work with The Voice, they work with Berklee College of Music.
Right.
So we have some ins for those kids that are.
So
when they-
placement, really.
Yes.
If you have someone with the talent and the availability, you can help them maybe,
and
land.
American Idol. So they make it past the first 3 or 4 rounds
Yeah.
just by being an all-star.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that they don't have to go through, like the 9-hour line and then
Yes,
auditioning.
So Juliana made it past 3 or 4 rounds
Yeah.
on The Voice.
Very cool.
Yeah, I
Very
got to
cool.
go in and audition for them, like have a private audition. They interviewed me and stuff, so it was really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great program overall. So every time I do this show, I end up asking a lot of questions that I think interest me predominantly, and hopefully the listeners out in the world as well. But I always like to try and give an opportunity to my for my guests to say something that maybe I missed, some detail that you want out in the world that maybe my questions didn't get to. So maybe Matt, I'll start with you. Is there anything that I missed you want the world to know?
Yeah, one thing about going through this program is you gain this sense of confidence. Whether or not you get good at your instrument doesn't matter. Just even putting yourself out there really helps you grow as a person. You don't just gain musical skills. It's definitely a life aspect that you learn through this program. kid that goes to school and doesn't talk to anybody will, after spending even a month at the program, will go back to school and have that confidence, just go and talk to somebody else. Something just about putting yourself out there, just really.
It's probably
Helps you
less.
grow.
It's probably less of the tense environment that school is.
Yeah, there's not as much pressure to feel like you fit in
Right.
at this school, because
Everybody fits in. Yeah.
everybody has that same backstory of not knowing exactly where they fit in school, where again sports are so stressed and music is kind of put on the back
Sure.
burner. So
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of kids that come in that are artists, all different types of artists.
Right.
And they come in, maybe they like to write poetry, or maybe they like to draw, and they find their way in School of Rock. Maybe they'll start by taking vocal lessons because they feel like they can do that without having,
Yeah.
previous experience on an instrument. And the next thing you know, they're taking, 3 different instruments, and they've made 100 great friends, So it's
great.
I've seen that throughout the years of parents who come to me with tears in their eyes saying, I never thought my kid would fit in, and
Right.
and now they have this home away from home. So it's
Very cool.
nice.
Very cool. And Juliana, anything to add?
Yeah, so every year we go on a trip to Wildwood also, which is a lot of
Nice.
fun. It's like a little 3-day tour for some of the kids. We play on the boardwalk, and it's kind of nice because a lot of the shows that we play at, we do play at like music venues. All of
Right.
our shows play.
We play
Yeah.
at 89 North. We play at the Smithtown
Nappertan-
Nappertandies.
Nice.
That's
Off
where
the
our
Tiki.
our every season we play at just different local clubs around Long
Yeah.
Island.
So it's nice because they get to play on the boardwalk for these
Right.
people that they don't know. They're just kind of like walking by, and it's great to see the reaction that we get because everyone kind of goes up and they're like, "Oh, are those kids?" Like,
Yeah.
the Jersey Shore is definitely a much different atmosphere than playing at a bar in Smithtown.
Sure.
So
But that's
Yeah.
part of the experience. It's great to
Yeah.
It
you know,
is, and then
to
the
grow and
parents
learn.
become friends.
Yeah.
So it's the first time that all the parents really get to relax and get to know one another, and it's they have a really great time. So we've been doing that for the last few years, and it also gives the kids in our program, even if they're not a part of the house band or a part of the All Stars, this great opportunity to actually feel like they're going on tour.
Very cool.
So we're able to open that up to all of our ages and different ability levels.
Nice. So how does someone join your program? How does a parent, get their child involved?
Right. So we actually offer a free trial lesson. And with that, of course, you get to tour our facility and meet some of our staff before making a commitment to our program. And you can reach us by phone at 631-476-7625 or on the web, which is portjefferson.schoolofrock.com.
All right. Well, as one person who's done a little music in their lives, they get the occasional royalty check. I have to congratulate you guys on what you've put together and what you're doing for your community. I want to thank you again for being so supportive of the May Day Festival this May 11th. And thank you again for joining me.